Hello everyone. I think we all know about dogs that put themselves in dangerous situations to save their owners or even other animals. Now, these dogs tend to be big and strong. But what about the nippers, the ankle biters? Can they be heroes? Let's find out. Take for example my dog, Jack. He's a Dachshund with a heart of gold. However, he takes no nonsense. He loves children and is willing to put his life on the line for them if he has to. Here are two stories where he endangers his life to save children. In the first story, we were walking in our park. This park had a hill at one of its entrances. This hill leads to a road. Please remember this for later. As we were going through to go shopping, we noticed an unaccompanied parked buggy. We were going downhill to get to the shops. There was a baby in it, but it being parked, I didn't think much of it. The mum was nearby playing with her elder child. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the buggy moved. No, I don't mean tip over. No. Suddenly, this buggy decides to zoom down the hill toward the busy road below. Then, the mum appeared. She realizes that her sleeping infant, who, by the way, is completely undisturbed by this, was about to go into the road. She is trying to run after the buggy with a toddler in tow. Now, I certainly didn't have as much energy as I wanted. I definitely wouldn't have caught the buggy, even if I tried. However, there was someone else who could catch that buggy. My mum had suggested that he wear a loose collar because he was a 6-month-old puppy and it may have choked him. This is important. He saw the danger. He ran after that buggy after slipping his collar. Keep in mind that a Jack Russell that is healthy can run as fast as a horse. So there was no doubt that he could catch that buggy if he wanted to. I will say that now my dog is 14 and riddled with arthritis, and I don't think he can run after a stallion. But maybe a foal that was trotting? Maybe. Possibly if he had to run for his life. But not normally, no. Anyway, going back to this buggy. Because he is a terrier, I thought he was trying to hunt the buggy. Anyway, to prove me wrong, he runs after that buggy and grabs the tray underneath. By the way, it's metal. Just take that in for a second. Jack had a teeth-on-spoon incident. I actually heard his teeth hit the tray as he ground it to a halt. He is literally panting. You can hear him. His mouth is open because he's trying to grip with all his strength, even though he is a very young small dog. Then, here comes the scary part for me. The mum, seeing the situation, runs up to the dog. She got there before me, and I really thought she was going to tell me off, or think the dog had attacked her baby in some way. But no, she runs up to him and holds on to him because, if you remember, he doesn't have a collar on. She is praising him non-stop while I'm trying to catch up, running down the hill with his collar and lead in my hand. She thanks me so much because, for a better expression, her baby could have been squished. All because the brakes on the buggy failed. Now to story 2. One thing I will say about both of the stories is that he never asked for a reward. Never expected anything. He just did what the right thing was, and whenever he got a reward, he was happy. Even when he saved the cats' lives, he just did it and went back to sleep. If you're interested, I'll do another video about that. Back to the second story. We are in the same park and on the same hill. However, this situation is even more perilous because this included an actual child that was not shielded by anything. This was literally about 2 weeks later, so same situation with the collar. This parent had once again 2 children. One that she was carrying in arms on her hip, and the other one was walking with her and holding her hand. The elder child, who was a toddler, wriggled out of his mum's hand and ran down that hill. Unfortunately, when children want to run fast, oh my, they can run. Now to the dog. He sees the situation, and this mum cannot let go of her other child, nor can she run for fear of falling and hurting the child that she is carrying. She has no buggy and can't leave it anywhere because it would wander off. So she is running as fast as she can while screaming, "Help! My child! My child!" Upon seeing the situation, he once again slipped his collar and runs after this child. This is an even scarier situation for me than the last time, because this has an actual child that he could actually catch. As he is a young terrier, I don't know what he wants to do. This time I really start running. He runs after that child and overtakes him. That child, by the way, is running toward the road. By the way, the mum is also trying to run after the child. She doesn't see Jack because of all the trees and shadows, and as you can see, Jack is black. When he finally gets down there, he stands in front of the child, who I think must have been about 2. He seemed to have that toddler walk, so he can't have been much older. And suddenly you hear the child say, "Puppy! Puppy! Puppy!" Jack doesn't normally like having his belly touched, but anything to distract this child. He also knows not to put his actual teeth on the child to restrain him. When you look, you can see that he's literally prancing around on all fours, doing all sorts of tricks. Anything to distract that child from certain death. He is also collarless again. The mum, as I'm sure you've guessed at this point, runs up to her child. The woman was so happy she screams with joy. She examined her child. I run up and start apologizing because this was an actual kid and I thought he may have held on to him. She stopped me mid-apology and said, "Your dog saved my child. Thank you so much." She's telling her child off. Jack is panting so heavily because he's just run down the hill. He doesn't expect anything. We were just going to go shopping and go home. But this woman was different. She asked me which way I was going. I say I'm going to the mini supermarket. She says she's going to come with me. So I tie Jack up. Yes, this is the same place where he got nicked. I'll leave a link at the end of the video. He looks completely chuffed when we go in. Once I've done my shopping and I go to get the dog, I see that she is waiting for me. She plonks in my hand a huge box that must have been for a German Shepherd of Bonio treats. She said, "This is for your dog for saving my child." They lasted him so long because they were so big. When I came home and my mum saw that I had this huge box of treats, she asked where I got them from. So I not only had to explain that someone bought them for my dog, but why. She had already heard about the one that happened 2 weeks before, so this was a big shock. Mum was looking at this very out of breath, very tired, tiny puppy who is really pleased with himself because he just saved a kid. The child, by the way, when she was giving me the treats, was being held by the wrist to avoid him escaping again. This to me shows that not every small dog is an ankle biter. They can be heroes. He has more stories of times when he has saved other people and other animals. If you want to hear more, then let me know in the comments. To me, he is Superdog. It doesn't matter to me that he is now riddled with arthritis and other pains, and also slowly losing his marbles. At least one a year. He's my Superdog and I love him. If you have any stories where your pets have done something amazing, put them in the comments or email them to me if you want me to talk about it on my channel. Jack is not the only one to think he's a superhero. Both of my cats have done things where they feel that they need to save someone. If you've got to the end of this video, then you're handsome and you're beautiful and you, well, I'm speechless. I'll let you know next time I see you. Over to the pets. Hello all, this is Sylvie. If you liked what you saw, then subscribe for more.
Hey everyone, my name's Bonjo. If you enjoyed yourself, then give it a thumbs up and share it with all your friends.
Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and if you had fun, then comment down below and let my mum know who the superhero is in your life.